We are back. This is Warlock, Forged in the Barrens. Grinning Go, Light Forge podcast. Been doing this now for 7 hours. Wait. This is
Been doing this for
Adwocta.
a while. This is Merps. Okay, we're going to be talking about Warlocks. Did Warlocks get good
Warlocks.
cards? Bad
Warlocks
cards?
did get good cards. Warlocks, in fact, got a really good card. And it is Soulred. And Soulred is a 4 mana spell, shadow spell, that says deal 5 damage to all minions. Destroy a card in your deck for each killed. But focus on the deal 5 damage to all minions part, which sounds like it should cost more than 4 mana.
It sure sounds like it, doesn't it?
Because don't 4 mana usually deal 3 damage to all minions?
Yeah, and it also hit your face previously.
Oh,
It also hit
yeah.
the opponent's face, but really you care about your face more often.
So they just upped it by 2 damage and improved other parts of the card.
Yes. Now, you destroy a card in your deck for each killed, which really means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Remember Keening Banshee, all of this stuff. It doesn't matter unless you actually, number one, go to fatigue, and two, needed whatever cards. Like it wasn't enough. Like there are even times in which you go to fatigue, but it didn't matter because you had the cards to win anyways. So
Mm-hmm.
in 99% of times, it won't matter. It is just a 4 mana 5 damage to all minions. Super duper good. We can see how this is a solid A tier card.
Yeah, solid A tier. This is it's silly. If Warlocks didn't have all these board clears already, this would be like A plus. But Warlock has a lot of board clears.
Yeah. So if you're asking, wait, why is Flame Strike better? It's like you guys rate Flame Strike as a A plus card. Why is Soulred, which is much cheaper? And you guys said the cards don't matter, right? Like the discarded cards don't matter. So why is this lower? It's just class by class. Warlocks have always had this annoying problem. It's like it's an abundance of riches. They're able to remove. They have too much removal spells, and a lot of times you actually have to pick against removals because you're like, I can't just have removals on hand. I just end up losing that way. It's been true for so many metas for Warlocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have these like ridiculous ones, and here they got rid of stuff like Shadow Flame, whatever. But as you'll see, this isn't even the only double-sided board clear in this set, like for Warlock. And they're getting back their potions too from Mean Streets of Gadgetzan as well as Abyssal Enforcer. So Warlocks are going to be very, very blow everything uppy in this coming arena meta. All right, next
Blow
up.
everything up. Yes.
Yep, blow everything uppy. Next up is a B plus card. Still super good, but not quite as good. It is Imp Swarm. Imp Swarm is summon a 3/2 Imp for 2 mana. It's a fel spell, but it's a ranked spell, so that's only rank 1. If you're playing this on turn 5, it summons 2 3/2s. If you're playing this on turn 10 or more, you are summoning 3 3/2s. So just a pretty good way to get extra value out of a normal Raptor-like card.
Yep. This is also one of those where if you look at it and you're like, well, it's like I don't get why it's a B plus. You're not getting that much. It's once again class specific, right? This is exactly what you need as Warlock to actually do well. You need your proactive plays. You need minions that you want to put out. Something that you can play early that scales into the mid game and late game. That summons demons, multiple demons. It's just really good for what Warlock wants specifically. So in other classes, something like this might not be as high or whatever, but it's exactly what Warlock needs.
Yeah. So some of these other ranked cards, you wouldn't play them on turn 2. You know, like it's an Arcane Explosion for Priest. You could play it on turn 2, but things have to really line up. For Warlocks, you play this on turn 2. You don't have to keep holding it. Like, you're not going to hero power on turn 2. You're going to play this card. This is a very good option to play on turn 2. It is, like, literally on curve. So, it's getting some points for just, like, being what it needs to be. Next up is the Cabal Outfitter. We are now in a B tier, no longer B+. Cabal Outfitter is a 3-mana 3/3. Battle Cry and Death Rattle. Give another random friendly minion +1/+1. So it starts off having 1 more health than a Shattered Sun Cleric. Then upon its death, it will also give another random friendly minion +1/+1. If
It's random, so you sometimes don't get to control.
Oh, okay, fair.
Sometimes. But yeah, look, we talk about how 3-mana 3/3s aren't great, but this gives you a lot of stats. Yeah, you need another minion on the board, but that's fine. And it's somewhat controllable, like a decent amount of times controllable. So pretty decent.
Yeah.
It's a
Not particularly tricky or anything. Now we're on to C+. This is better than a Yeti. First, we have Grimoire of Sacrifice. It is your other board clear. 1 mana, destroy a friendly minion. Deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. It's good, but you do have to destroy one of your own minions. The cost ratio is obviously very good. You're doing something that should cost 4 mana, and is a very good card at 4 mana. And it's only costing you 1 mana to do it. But it's a bit conditional. You do have to have something on the board. If you want to consecrate your opponent's board, chances are they're not leaving you with anything on the board, so then you have to play something, and it gets like a little messy.
Yep.
That's why it's not like even higher.
C+. Okay.
Next up is Barrens Scavenger. Barrens Scavenger is a 6-mana 6/6 taunt, which is okay. That would be normally a C, not a C+. What makes it C+ is that it costs 1 while your deck has 10 or fewer cards. Also, just the taunt works a little better in the Warlock. So it's getting a few things that's like edging it up. You're going to have 10 or fewer cards sometimes, especially as Warlock. Like other classes, it may happen a little less often, but your hero power is drawing cards. So you could get there. And you could get there with quite a significant number of cards in your hand too. And if you do, this one's super cheap.
Yep. Taunt is just good, like for Warlocks. So it's understated, but it kind of doesn't matter as much. Like just having a taunt is good. And I think the effect is going to trigger slightly more often than some people think it's going to. Because I think some people might say it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, 10 cards is a lot, right? Like
10 cards,
you don't have to worry about milling like 4 cards out of your deck, but 10? Like imagine if you had to mill 10 cards out of your deck. You'd worry.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we are on to D+. Oh, sorry, no. Yes. Yes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, no. We have Bloodshark.
Yes, we have Bloodshark Bristleback. We are on to the C tier. Bloodshark Bristleback is C tier. It is a 3-mana 3/3 lifesteal. Battle Cry. If your deck contains 10 or fewer cards, deal 6 damage to a minion. Same deal. 3-mana 3/3 is pretty bad. We've gone over this. It would be like barely a D tier. Lifesteal makes it a bit better, but you know, lifesteal on a 3-mana 3/3 is still not great. And then it edges up a little bit because of this 10 or fewer cards deal. Dealing 6 damage to a minion for a 3-mana card is pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty good. But there's like a huge gap there, right? Where if you're looking at it, it's like, oh well, it's good in the late game. Like how long are you going to hold this for? And if you perfectly draw it, sure, but it's really due to how bad 3-mana 3/3s are.
Yeah, like you compare this to that 6-mana 6/6 taunt. You can legit hold that. You can't even play it until turn 6, and then you can hold it and wait for a time to do whatever. A 3-mana 3/3 is just going to get thrown out there at some point.
Yep.
Now we are on to D+. D+, starting with the below Yeti cards. This is a bad card. Not terrible, but bad. D+. Apothecary's Caravan. 2-mana 1/3. Seems okay so far. At the start of your turn, summon a 1-cost minion from your deck. You're a Warlock, you're gonna have some one cost minions. It's not that you're gonna have none of it, but you're going to miss out on battle cries. It could be dead already. It doesn't have a lot of potential to actually chain because you only have so many one cost minions in your deck. And remember, you're like mulliganing pretty hard for them. And then if you play this like later on, it could potentially do nothing. And 1/3 is just, you know, like it's a thing, but if it was just a 1/3, it would be below a D tier. It would be like an F plus tier. If it was 2 mana 1/3. Maybe.
Yep.
It may even be just straight up F. So it's gaining quite a lot for this ability actually. But a lot of limits, and there's just no way to make it like an insane thing. This is not like that Paladin Caravan that gives you 2/1/1s guaranteed.
Agreed.
Next up, we have the 2 legendaries. Spoiler, both of these are D, so they're both not good. First one is Tamson Rome. It is a 3 mana 1/3. Whenever you cast a shadow spell that costs 1 mana or more, add a copy to your hand that costs 0 mana. So you're like duplicating your shadow spells that you cast, but it's a 3 mana 1/3. So it's like this combo card that requires a lot of shadow spells. And you can't trigger it off its own self because the one you put into your hand costs 0. And it needs to cost 1 for you to like actually trigger this. It's just a lot of ifs. And if you don't trigger it, it's terrible.
Go on.
Other legendary, 5 mana 5/5. Hey, that seems good. Battle Cry. If your deck is empty, open a portal that fills your board with 3/2 imps each turn. Okay, your deck is not going to be empty, so it's just a 5 mana 5/5. And a 5 mana 5/5 is a D.
Go on.
Finally, we have Altar of Fire, the last card, and it is a solid F because for 1 mana, it mills the top 3 cards off each deck. And you don't do that in the arena.
Yeah, so like I said before, there's F tier and there's like sub F. We don't differentiate, but you can imagine where this would be approximately. There you go.
Yeah. That's it for Warlock. I thought we went over it pretty efficiently. It's trying to do mill stuff, which is kind of getting in the way of what Arena's doing, but it does have powerful board clears, and the cards that are coming back are even more powerful board clears. So it just has a whole bunch of powerful board clears, and you can build a normal deck with it. Just don't get trapped into trying to do weird stuff with Warlocks. Just take it as it comes. It's not going to be super cohesive. You can make control decks with Warlocks, but they're always a little weird because they're all driven by heals, and you don't have that much heals in this upcoming meta. So you're probably better off just playing some kind of mid-range swing the board kind of Warlock. And those not only just work generally better in these kinds of metas because it's a swing meta, it's going to be a swing meta, but Warlocks are really, 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 really good at it. Especially with Soulred, especially with Abyssal Enforcer. No one can play around this stuff, and it'll just swing the board.
Yes.
That's
it, yes.
So we are now on to our final. We're going to do Warriors next, and that will end everything. So we will see you in the next video then.
All right, let's do it.